Today we are going to talk about the semi-conscious out-of-body experience, or the astral projection in which we are with partial lucidity. How can we interpret events in this type of experience? Stay with me. Hi, thank you for being with me. This channel is about taking control of our personal evolution, both spiritually and here in this lifetime. As I know many of you are interested in understanding what happens when we are beyond our physical lives, especially in producing the out-of-body experience, I want to explain a very common process in which we are outside the body but not as lucid and in control as we would like. Let me first mention to those of you who are here for the first time that I publish videos in different languages, but every week I have something in English. Just please keep an eye for the thumbnails that have the text in purple. Now, regarding the experiences in which we are only with partial lucidity or partial awareness, we are not fully aware outside the body, what causes it? Number one. And number two, what sort of experience that produces? Well, the causes can be many, but the most common one is the condition in which our energy body somehow is still too much impregnated in the non-physical body or astral body. Therefore, it kinds of cause our non-physical bodies to be heavier, and therefore it's much harder for us to gain control, to gain lucidity. Another very common condition, among many, of course I'm just citing the most common ones, is conditioning. We are so much conditioned that we are the physical body, that we live in a physical world, because every day we deal with the physical body. Then, when we are in an experience that we are no longer with the physical body, we tend to try to mimic the same experience that we have here. And therefore, it does not match what we are actually witnessing or experiencing in that moment. And this causes a sort of confusion in our mind, and we start allowing that our thoughts, our imagination, somehow mix and interfere with the actual experience. So, a semi-conscious experience is one in which we are projected, we are there, we are outside the body, we are experiencing things, but we are mixing that with all sorts of, it's called oniric images. It's like images from our mind that they infiltrate the reality we are experiencing. Then it's very difficult to differentiate what is an actual experience and what was just imaginary. Now, what sort of condition does this generate during the experience? Can you imagine, for example, one day that you are so tired that you are even a little groggy, so you are kind of in a place but thinking about something else, your mind is not as sharp as it normally is? Well, imagine that, but you are outside the body. Then everything that you witness there, it gets somehow mixed with your thoughts, because here in the physical body we will have a certain specific thought. For example, you are going to work, you are in a subway, you are in the metro, and all of a sudden you start thinking about something you are going to do next week. And the physical reality is so stable, it does not change because you are thinking of that. You may even feel an experience and forget you are in the metro, but in a moment you get to your station, the reality goes back to you, and there you are. You did not, or you do not lose track of what's going on. But in an out-of-body experience, many times our thoughts, we can see them as if they would be a real element there. So let's say, for example, that you are projected in your house and you see an object that you like very much. It was from your childhood, something that you made yourself when you were with a group of friends. Then when you see that, you remember of your friends, and all of a sudden, because you thought of them and you are not very much in control of your mind, somehow you see them in the place, and all of a sudden their families too, and then you just appear in the place that you were or used to be when you were playing with those friends. Then it gets very confusing, because what we will interpret. Either we interpret that is just a dream, however, you were projected, you were in your house, you were really seeing that object, but then all of a sudden your imagination took over and mixed with that reality. You can even project it, really go to the place that you used to go when you made that object, that piece. However, you will mix again your thoughts with what you see there, because lucidity, awareness, is not very focused. So somehow there is an element there of emotion. Emotion that triggers a memory, that triggers a reaction, and that alters the condition of our energy, or the energies that we are somehow using to interact with that non-physical reality that we are experiencing. Then later on, of course, it's very difficult, because do we interpret that as a real projection? Some people do, and then they will believe that all of those people and friends were there projected too. So it's partially right, partially wrong. But others just say it's just a dream, forget it. But that is also partially right, but partially wrong, because there were elements that were of a real projection. Some cases also, what happens is that we will feel like very hard to control our movements. For example, if you try to walk, you feel like you are sliding, but you don't even notice you are sliding. Or you try to do some repetitive things, for example, to grab a glass of water or to open a door, but the knob does not go, but you never really start thinking, hey, I'm projected because my hand is pressing through. You just keep trying. So this sort of reaction is very typical of experiences in which we are not fully lucid. There are many different things that we can do in order to improve our lucidity when we are in a condition like that. But the number one thing we have to do is to somehow program ourselves to find a technique for us to figure out when we are in this condition. And then we say, oh, this may be a projection. Then you will apply a certain technique out there to gain more lucidity during that process. One of the things is to do certain movements, certain actions with your energies there, the energies of your energy body that are connected to the astral body, because that will help you get lighter and focus more on what's going on. But number one thing is be ready to be cool, to examine things and detach a little bit from the experience so that you can start gaining control of the experience. Well, these are some tips for you to recognize when you are in semi-conscious projection. I hope this was useful to those of you that used to have this type of experience. I thank you very much for being with me. See you in the next video. Bye bye.